Hi all, my name is Tim Olson. I'm one of the developers working on the TurboCAD Mac family of products for IMSI. Today we're going to take a look at several tips and tricks related to the TurboCAD Mac 764 product. In our first tip, we're going to show how you can quickly change the orientation of the work plane while you're constructing geometry. Let's go ahead and select the Inscribe Polygon tool, and we're going to move our cursor over to the start of our spiral. And once we have that endpoint, we're going to click the C key. Clicking the C key will change the work plane at that point through a variety of orientations. The first one's the top view. Clicking it again, we'll get the YZ plane. Once more, the XZ plane. This is the viewing plane. This is parallel to the view. And then the last one is perpendicular at the point that the cursor is at with respect to a curve. And that's the one that we want in this case. Let's go ahead and construct our geometry now. To put it back to where we were, we'll just move over to the origin and I'll click the C key again and it'll jump into the top view. Now when we go over to our sweep tool, we can just pick our curve, our sweep path, and we can create our shape. Something I'm asked frequently about is, can TurboCAD nudge objects? By default, the arrow keys, when you click them, are actually panning the view. Left, right, up, and down. Now, you can change this behavior so that it nudges the object instead of the view. To do this, go over to the Preferences dialog box and the General category, and then where it says the arrow key nudge distance, set this to something other than 0, which is the default value. I'm going to set it to 1/10 of an inch, hit apply and hit OK. And now when we select our object, when we hit the arrow keys, it's actually moving the object 1/10 of an inch at a time. If you hold down the shift key, it will do it 10 times whatever your nudge distance is. So in this case, it'll do it 1 inch. So that's how you can change the behavior of the arrow keys to nudging an object, is if you just change it to a non-zero value. This is also a nice way to tweak splines. For example, let's go ahead and create a spline. And let's select our spline, show points. Grab one of these points and note we can modify that spline point. Our next tip has to deal with using model to sheet with curves or architectural features. Let's pull up a drawing from our examples folder, the TurboCAD files, the floor plan. This is a 2D floor plan that what we like to do is place this large scale drawing inside of a size landscape drawing for printing purposes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to double click and select everything. Go to our model to sheet tools, and I'm going to pick a top view, and I'm going to make sure ignore curves is turned off. And I will go ahead and click OK, and now we'll see our large architectural drawing inside of a landscape layout. Let's go over to the scale. Let's see, it picked 005 when we did our best fit. Let's get it larger. Let's go 100, and let's click OK. And now what we've done is we've made a 100th scale drawing inside of a 8.5 by 11 print drawing. Let's go ahead and show that more by, let's click inside of our draw view. And we're going to create a line. Let's make that line 100 inches long. Now I'm going to click outside the draw view and I'll make another line 1 inch long. And if we go ahead and take our gripper and pull these near each other, you can see the 1 inch line outside the draw view is for measured as 100 inches within the draw view. In fact, let's go over to our scale now and let's change it so 1 inch equals 100. One of the little known features of TurboCAD is it actually can import more files than are listed in the Import dialog box. For example, it can open Photoshop files and PDF files. Let's go ahead and size our window down so that we can get to our desktop, and let's drag some files onto our application. Let's first of all do a Photoshop file. Let's take that Photoshop file and bring it over here, and note that it is a 3D texture onto a 2D face. And let's grab a PDF file, and then let's do one more PDF file. Let's move this over here. And in this case, let's go ahead and show one more interesting thing about images that are brought into TurboCAD. For example, let's just show this, and let's bring it over into an isometric view, and let's rotate it 90 degrees with the gripper, and then let's put an object behind the tree that we have brought in. And let's take this tree and let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's scale it up. Okay, now one of the things you can do when you have a image that's been imported into TurboCAD is you can go to the inspector and you can go to the object properties and select the transparent background. And what that'll do is that will look at the upper left corner of the image, and it'll use that as a transparent bit, and it will change everything at that color as a transparent. And there is some tolerances there, so you can go ahead and you can increase this so that you can grab some more of those white anti-alias edges along the side of this tree. This tip is a drafting tip when creating circles tangent to two other circles. What we'd like to do is create a tangent circle to these two circles at a specified radius. To do this, we're going to go to the Circle 3-point tool, and we're going to hold down the Option key to make this point on the circle tangent to the reference point. Likewise over here as well. And then we'll go ahead and select our third point, and that third point is going to be defining the diameter of it. Now note, you can go back and you can specify the diameter by going up to the data entry window, and let's make this 3.5. Now let's go ahead and finish the construction of our part. Let's mirror this. Double click, select all, go to the trim tool, and there we have our part. So that's how you can create a circle tangent to two circles with a given radius. In this next tip, what we're going to do is we're going to show how you can grab the length, width, height off of a complex shape. This actually is a part that was a stereolithography part, an STL file that I imported in, that I want to know what the length, width, height are to dimension. So the best way to do that is go ahead and select it and go to the Verify Bounding Box. And what we're going to do is we're going to create an axis-aligned box that's going to represent the tight extents of our spoon. The lengths of these edges of the box represents the lengths, width, and height of our spoon. So let's go ahead and just dimension these, and then we'll get rid of the bounding box. So let's grab two vertices for the length. That actually is not in the plane that I want, so I'm going to hit the Delete key, and then I'm going to move my cursor over to this vertex edge, and I'm going to hit the C key. That's a quick way to change the work plane, and the dimensions are based on your work plane. So let's go ahead and grab those 2 points again, and this time you'll see I'm going to get a dimension that lies in the top view. That's our length. Let's go ahead and get our width, and then let's go ahead and do our height. And this is backwards from what I want to do, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that, And again, I'm going to pick that corner point. I'm going to hit the C key, toggle through various configurations, and then grab my points again. And there is my height. But you know what? I want my arrows on the inside, so I'm going to go to the arrow leader, and I'm going to pick a smaller value there. And then I will go ahead and hide our Workplane. And I'm going to get rid of my bounding box, but first I'm going to remove the links because the dimensions are tied to it. If I delete the bounding box, the dimensions will delete. So let's remove the links, and then let's remove the bounding box. And there we have our length, width, height of an STL file. Thanks for watching TurboCAD tips for TurboCAD Mac 764. For more information, visit www.turbocad.com.